In this video, I'm going to take you through how I make chocolate shells. Everybody does this a little bit differently, so I'm just going to show you how I do it. I hope you find it helpful, and if you do, you can subscribe for more videos like this. Let's get started with all the tools you're going to need for shelling. This is a 40mm half-sphere mold, and this is a professional or polycarbonate chocolate mold, but you could use any professional chocolate mold. We're going to use a microfiber cloth for polishing and cleaning the mold, and a heat gun with a variable temperature control. This one goes from 50 degrees up to 600 degrees, which is useful for different chocolate making techniques. An infrared thermometer, or a probe thermometer, whichever you choose to work with. 1 or 2 metal scrapers. The benefit of having 2 is that you can use one as you work to clean the other. The metal scraper should fit the width of your mold. This particular scraper is 20 centimeters in width. This is a 35 centimeter bowl. The benefit of using a large bowl is that we can invert the mold into the bowl, and then the chocolate that goes into the bowl we can reheat and use to shell our next mold. It also helps things stay nice and tidy while you're working. A microplane and silk for tempering your chocolate, or however you want to temper your chocolate. And lastly, a nice flexible silicone spatula. And now we're ready to shell, so let's get started. We're going to start by tempering our chocolate. You can use whatever method is most comfortable for you. For me, that's using cocoa butter silk. So I'm going to bring the temperature to around 33.5 to 35 degrees before I add the silk. My preferred way of doing that is to put the silk on a scale, tear the weight, lay the microplane across the bowl, and grade in what's needed, checking on the scale to see how much has been removed. Then mix it through really well until it's fully incorporated and the temperature drops to about 32 degrees. Get all the chocolate down off the side of the bowl, give it a little mix, and then take the temperature. And we're ready to go. We're going to start by filling our mold cavities right to the top. If you're new to shelling, you might find it useful to leave the back 1 or 2 rows empty so you have a little bit more space to put your fingers, and also the mold won't be quite as heavy. So I'll do that here to illustrate that. Tap the mold to settle the chocolate down into the cavities and start to remove air bubbles. And then put the mold over your big bowl of chocolate and clean off the surface. This will allow you to see how the shells are starting to form. I also like to do this motion that you're seeing here because it helps me to see how the chocolate's actually hugging the cavity. That hugging is going to dictate when we invert the mold. The length of time that this takes will be dictated by the chocolate temperature, the mold temperature, and the room temperature, so it's always going to change slightly. What I'm indicating here is the edge of the mold and watching how it's starting to form a shell. It's not quite there yet, so we're just going to leave it in a bit longer and keep moving it around to be able to see the thickness. Now that's looking pretty decent. We're close to it being done on all these different cavities here. So now it's time to invert it over our big bowl of chocolate and tap the side of the mold to remove all the excess. Once the drips start to slow down pretty considerably, you're gonna, while it's inverted, scrape the mold clean. You can do this a couple times. I like to do this 2 or 3 times. Then move your bowl of chocolate out of the way, place the mold on the tabletop, and give it a good scrape to remove all that excess from the top. At this stage, you can really see the thickness of your shells. I'm showing you the back of the mold here, because before the chocolate contracts, this is what it looks like, and after it contracts, that will look more transparent on the back. Let's shell another mold. So all the chocolate has been sitting in the bowl, and now it's quite cool, as I'm illustrating here. It's setting around the side and the bottom of the bowl. So we start with heating the bottom of the bowl to start to loosen the chocolate, and then allow the bowl to spin while you mix, applying heat to the side of the bowl, which will allow it to gently heat the edges, and all of that chocolate will cohesively soften and turn to liquid again. If you apply too much heat to one area, you risk taking the chocolate out of temper. Scrape it all back down into the bottom of the bowl, take the temperature, and you're ready to rock again. This time, we're using a slightly more intricately shaped cavity. This is a crescent shape, and this is going to form in a very different way than a half sphere does. So the indications we looked for on the half sphere was the shell setting evenly all the way around the circumference of the cavity. With this mold, we're going to be looking at the corners, those little horn-shaped corners. Because that's the thinnest part of the cavity, that's where it's going to start setting first. As I wait for that shell to form, I'm just cleaning my spatulas, like I said earlier, using one to clean the other, keeping them nice and clean for the next step of the shelling process. Don't mix that chocolate back into your liquid chocolate, just push it to the side. Now you can see that the corners are starting to form on these cavities. The edges, but the horn area as well. Now it's time to invert it, just like we did with the half sphere, and tap to remove the excess chocolate. Give it a scrape, and clean your spatula on the side of the bowl. Push the bowl of chocolate away onto the surface and give it a good scrape. That brings us to the end of the lesson. I hope you found it helpful and that it helps you in your chocolate making. If you have any questions, please do ask them in the comment section, and check the description area for links that I think you might find helpful.